Hey everybody, it's Ash. Tonight, I have some stuff I want to talk about that I've actually known about for probably like a few months now. I mean, so like we all grew up, you know, in the JWs, knowing that there are kids among us that were, there were kids among us that were going. Some of us were going to public school and some of us were homeschooled. I considered myself very lucky. I consider myself lucky now, I mean, that I was in public school instead. Because I think, like, being in homeschool would have been worse for so many reasons. I can't even explain. Yeesh. So yeah. If you were in homeschool, by the way, shout it out in the chat. I actually, it's really funny. I wanted to go to homeschool. I wanted to be homeschooled, like as a kid. There were definitely times where I was like, man, I really wish. Hold on, let me see here. There we go. Yeah, there were definitely times as a kid where I was like, man, I really wish I had been homeschooled. Because I didn't realize at the time I was autistic. I mean, I am autistic, so like I didn't realize at the time that that's why, interactions were a little tricky for me, and why I kind of just wished I could just do my work at home and play with friends in my neighborhood that I had that I already liked and stuff. That's but yeah, I didn't realize how lucky I was back then. I do now realize how lucky I was that I did not have to attend homeschool. Let's see here. Just gonna close something real quick. So I'm not sure what that is. Anyway, right. So yeah, sorry for coming out so late, by the way. Coming on here so late. It's pretty late. It's like almost gonna be 10 o'clock here. It's just, it's Friday, and by the time I got home today, I was like super exhausted, and I just kind of died in my bed. Oops. Hold on, my freaking thing is having a heart attack. There we go. Alright. Yeah, so I kind of died in my bed, and I was just too tired to do this earlier in the day, but I'm doing it now, so it doesn't matter. Yeah, so let's talk about this. I've known about the existence of homeschool for ages. There were even homeschools that were specifically for Jehovah's Witness kids. I know that. Like, there were homeschools that were designed legit just for JW kids. And, a lot of them went to the same one. In fact, a friend of mine, an ex-JW friend of mine, he told me about his experience, because he got to travel a lot as a kid. His family had like an RV or whatever, and they would be able to travel like that because partly due to the fact that he and his brother were homeschooled. I mean, that sounds nice, but then think about this. If you're homeschooled, that means you're isolated. That means you don't get exposed to anything that your parents don't want you to be exposed to, or at least it's really difficult for you to just be organically introduced to stuff that that your parents don't want you to be exposed to. You know how Jehovah's Witness parents are. I mean, at least a lot of them, I would say. Not every single JW parent is like this. I know some of them were kind of permissive, but like a lot of them, under pressure from the organization, from their elders in their congregation, even from other parents, were pretty strict. They would tell you couldn't watch this or that, tell you couldn't listen to this or that, tell you couldn't play with these kids, tell you couldn't, like mine, tell you couldn't be part of the that you couldn't be part of the class parties and stuff like that. So yeah, 100% it can be an isolating experience to be a JW. Even if you are in public school, it can be kind of isolating. But could you imagine how much worse if you're homeschooled? Well, I found out that there is a way that it can be like, I don't know. See, that's the thing. I want to say it's in between being just as bad as homeschool and getting to be in public school, because at least you get to leave the house. But we're gonna delve into that. So yeah, like I said, I've known about this for a few months already. I found out by accident. I don't even remember how I found out. I think I must have been talking to Deciphering Worship, and I think we got into a conversation, and I was like, I wonder if they have like their own schools and stuff. They do, it turns out. So let's go take a look at that. Let's see here. There you go. So from the thumbnail that I had, by the way, I blurred out all the kids' faces in the thumbnail for privacy reasons. I know they plaster their faces all over the internet. They have them on they have them on on Facebook, which I'm not going to show the Facebook page on here again for privacy reasons, and it would be like really impossible to censor everything I want to censor. But yeah, they have a Facebook. They post these kids' faces all over the frickin' place. I feel really bad for them because, if they grow up and leave, they're going to be haunted by that memory of them being on JW stuff. And maybe they just, kids can consent to whether or not they want pictures taken and put places. And I mean, I don't know. Even if my kids were like, put my picture on Facebook or whatever, I still at this point, like maybe toward the beginning I was okay with that, but at this point I'm too paranoid, just because of all the stuff I know about the kinds of people out there. But anyway, I digress. Let's look into new system schools. That's what this is called. It's really weird. I just found out about this a few months ago. So let's check it out. So I'm going to read what's on the screen here, in case you're one of the people that puts my streams on and just kind of walks away and listens to it while you're doing other stuff. This is the main page, the main landing page, and it says, you can click here to request a starter kit. Now about the starter kit, they ask you a lot of private info. We're going to get into that. First, let's read the little welcome message here. History of New System School Incorporated. New System School Inc. was created for the purpose of helping parents who were looking for an alternative to the public school system for their children's education. The school was started in North Carolina in 1980. In 1985, the school was incorporated in Missouri, and associated corporations have since been formed in many states. We have students and faculty in 35 states, several foreign countries, and we're still growing. That's terrifying. New System School Incorporated is an organization of parents. That's all we need is more organizations, right? More orgs from these people. Is an organization of parents who wish to be very closely involved in their children's educational process. That's code for they don't want you learning any worldly crap. They don't want you making any worldly friends. No worldly lessons, no nothing. Can't learn about evolution, can't learn about holidays and stuff. They have made legal arrangements. Yeah, this already sounds great. I want to put my kids in right now. They have made legal arrangements to be recognized as a private religious school. This is not a homeschool satellite situation, but a private religious school with a faculty and non-institutional campus arrangement. We are a non-profit, private religious school created for the children of Jehovah's Witnesses. We are not sponsored by any local congregation of Jehovah's Witnesses or the Watchtower Bible and Tract Society of Pennsylvania. And of course, they link jw.org. So a couple things. Yeah, I was going to mention this, after looking into it pretty, deeply. It doesn't seem like, like Jehovah's Witnesses the organization themselves are actually in any way associated with this, which is already kind of more sketchy. Like, I don't know if it's sketchier that they're not associated with them, or that if they would be associated with them. I don't know which one would be sketchier, but either way, they're clearly not sponsored by Watchtower, is what they're saying here. So if I were to call up Warwick and ask him, like, hey, what's the deal with y'all's private school, or if I even asked them, like, do you have a private school, they would tell me no, because legally they don't. Now, I'm sure they're aware of this. They have to be aware of it. But, like, I'm thinking the reason that they don't legally have any ties to this is probably because, and this is just a theory, probably just in case any bad stuff happens at the school, which I'm sure it does. I mean, if the kinds of abuse that we know about happen within Jehovah's Witness congregations, it only stands to reason that it would happen within a JW private school too. And that's another thing. Jehovah's Witnesses are becoming more and more like, like other religions every day. There are Catholic schools and whatnot, and this just puts them more on the same level as those other religions that they like to crap on all the time. I think that's interesting. I think that's another reason that the org probably wouldn't want to be legally affiliated with them in any way, is because it just makes them look like other quote-unquote worldly or wrong religions, the untrue ones, the whatever. It's really sketchy. But yeah, they're a private religious school. That's weird. Hold on. Let me make sure that I can check the chat real quick, because I know there's got to be at least one comment. There we go. I wanted to be homeschooled when I was a JW too. So glad that I wasn't, because meeting people in a school was instrumental to me waking up. Yes, exactly. That's why this is very bad. I mean, it's bad enough, like, that certain JW kids have to be homeschooled. That sucks. But, like, this, you'll see why this is worse in just a second here. I mean, well, again, I don't know if it's really worse, but it's just as bad, if anything. So let's go back and continue looking at the JW school here. And by the way, I have it scrolled down like this to hide their faces because, again, privacy. I don't want these poor kids' faces to have to be on a video, much less the website that it's already on. Like, the fact that they put them out there front and center is... it makes me uncomfortable. I mean, I know that public schools will do that sometimes too on their websites, but I just get a different vibe from this school than I would from a public school. Not saying that there aren't, bad people in public schools, but, like, we already know how JWs are. That they have, like, significant problems with this. At least if something bad happens in a public school, they'll report it, That person's going to probably go to jail. Actually, that person will definitely go to jail. But, like, we know what happens with them. I bet if somebody reports something in the school, nothing's going to get done about it. That's what pisses me off. And makes it extra creepy to me. Okay, so let's start off by checking out their starter kit, because, yeah, well, you'll see. So, you can't just, like, they don't have straight up, like, an info page on how to join up and all that stuff. They literally make you send away for information. They want you to send in your last name, your first name, your address, your email address, the current grade level of your child or children. They want to know how you learned about them. They want you to add any comments, and it says, it's weird because they ask you for your address, but then they say, the information form will be emailed to you within 1 business day. If you feel you did not receive the information sheet by return email, please check the junk folder of your email program. We do not send the requested information by postal mail unless there is a special need. There's that word, special needs. Like, I'm not talking about, like, for people like me who would have needed like a certain type of help in school. I'm talking about special need as in like the special needs talk or the local needs talk or whatever you want to call it. If you have any questions, please contact New System School Incorporated at, and then they give a phone number, between the hours of 9 and 3 Eastern Time, closed Fridays. That's interesting. Or send an email by clicking here. We do not provide any of your personal information to others without direct request or permission. Yeah, I highly doubt that that's true. I'm sure they send it around all the congregations, like checking it against their list of apostates. Let's see here. That's the website that we were just at. Let's see here. Questions. School info. See, they don't have any school info. See, you can't look at their stuff. You look for school info, and it's like, nope, sorry, we don't have such a page for you. There's a members only page. You have to enter your password. So the Youngs are a couple who run this school. Brenda Young is the headmistress, and I think that's interesting. I think it's very interesting that they have a woman running the school instead of a man. I believe her husband is also involved in running the school, but she is the headmistress. She's the top person. Okay, like, and I think that's interesting because you know how sexist Jehovah's Witnesses are. Like, women aren't allowed to do anything except for preach, pretty much. That's literally their job. Preach, raise kids, make food for the gatherings. That's their job. But they have a woman. They have a woman running their school. She's the headmistress. I only know because I already looked into this, but yeah. Let's go back and check out the questions page. That you can't even ask questions. Wow. This is like very Jehovah's Witness. Like, you're not allowed to ask questions. Contact us. They don't want you to contact them. They want you to send in all of your personal info before they'll even consider talking to you. So that's great. And I guess this must be from like their old website. And I guess they just kind of still host that there. Or, well, not their old website, but like this must be from old pages that they had hosted on the same website and they just kind of updated it or something. Either way, I'm very tempted to send in some information and see if they'll actually give me any. Also, sorry for showing children's faces. I don't know if those are actually Jehovah's Witness children. I hope not, but that was an accident. Okay, let's see here. We're going to close this page and we're going to go to the About page. All right, gosh, why do they? Okay, does this look like the cover of one of their books or one of their magazines to you? Because I swear it looks like that to me. Maybe I'm just crazy. Oh yeah, so their tagline is New System School, Education for the Mind and Heart. Yeah, okay. I'm going to run back and check the comments really quickly before we continue. I don't have the comments up on screen because normally I would, but I do not have them up on screen this time because I wanted people to be able to see what I'm reading here. Okay, so let's go back to the comments here. Let's see. I wonder if they got the parents' consent for it. They probably had to for legal reasons. You know how Jehovah's Witnesses are. Like, they're all about legal this and legal that, except for when it comes to protecting children from child abusers. That's like, they're like very litigious. Like, okay, we got to make sure we have legal documents for this and this and this and this. But are we going to report a child abuser? No, that's not happening. It's so sketchy. I wonder if they are accredited. I believe they are, but we're going to go into that because there's a whole section on some weird legal stuff that they talk about. You'll see. That looks like they're bound volumes. Yep. Agnostic Theist says, Cam, which of the over 100 things wrong woke you up? Yeah. There are so many things wrong, it's not even funny. That's a good comment, though. All right, let's check it out. See what we got here. Okay. I'm going to read this out loud for y'all. What is New System School Incorporated? New System School Incorporated was founded in 1980 to provide parents of Jehovah's Witness children, parents of the children of Jehovah's Witnesses, sorry, my cat, a legal means to provide a superior home-based education for their children. New System School Incorporated is not a homeschool, though. Okay, so that's really confusing. It's home-based, but, like, it's not a homeschool. What? Okay. We are formed according to the specific state laws as a private school or church-related school. For this reason, our children are generally not subject to the laws governing homeschools, unless we are using the homeschool arrangement for that state. So it looks like they have different ways of operating in different states, I guess depending on the laws. The parents are registered as faculty members of the New System School and are responsible for providing a quality secular and spiritual education for their young ones. It is our goal to reach the hearts of our youths, providing them with more than knowledge. Why teach my children at home? Okay, so before we get into that section, big red flag. So they claim to be a school, like a brick and mortar one. And I have actually seen a photo, I have to find it again, but I've seen a photo of the inside of their school, and it looks like a church. In fact, here, while y'all ponder that thing, let me pull it up. I'm going to have to turn off the screen here just in case I run into some pictures of children by accident. So I'm going to just put this right here while I look for that really fast. Sorry if you hear any loud-ass typing noises. Let's see here. New System School. Right. I'm pretty sure I saw it on their Facebook, so we'll see. And the one that has a Facebook is based in Tennessee. I don't think they all have Facebooks, which I think it's weird that they have a Facebook in general. Oh, since I'm on the Facebook right now, I wanted to read you a post because I thought it was funny. This was in June 12th, 2018. They said, due to the ease of access by inappropriate individuals, we have decided to close this page, and it says page in quotes, and open a private Facebook group. That's also in quotes. Only known members of New System School will have access to the new group. Please contact your headmistress to request a link to the new non-public group. Thank you. And it got a couple of wow reactions and bunch of like reactions. So yeah, apparently they were apparently they were I'm guessing it was apostates, hitting them up and being like, yeah, so what's up? Trying to like mess with them or something. I don't think like it's a good idea to harass people. And I use the word harass because I don't think that contacting this school to try to wake people up is really a good idea because, first of all, it might be illegal. Second of all, like, these are kids. Actually, the kids part is the first of all. They're kids. Like, what are they going to do? They can't go anywhere. I mean, unless they're being abused, they really don't have any options, like, for being able to leave their house. Either if they're being abused or if they have like other parents they can go live with. So like it sucks, but like there's really not a lot we can do for kids unless they reach out for help. Oops. Oh crap. 1 second. That's annoying. Okay. Watch out, Chester. Okay. Ow! I almost died. And apparently I don't know how to recycle. Okay, there we go. Yeah, so my cat likes to knock my stuff out of my recycle bin here and there. And he's a little butthead, but I love him anyway. Okay, so back to what I was saying. I found the picture, by the way. I'm gonna open it up so you can see what I'm talking about. You're gonna be like, what the? Yeah, I'm going to pop it open. There's no children in this picture, so you'll see what I'm talking about. Here we go. there. Do you see it? This is the inside of the school. And I think it's weird. What does that look like to everybody who's watching this? Just out of curiosity, what's the first thing that comes to mind when you see it? Let me know in the comments. I'm going to leave it there for just a second so you can have a good look at it. What does that look like to you? Oh yeah, the term young ones is really, creepy. Yep, you got it, Cam. Bingo, right on the money. A church. It looks exactly like a church. Like, the more and more we read into this stuff, it makes them seem like, like a church, like another mainstream church. And I thought Jehovah's Witnesses didn't want to even come close to looking like like they're a part of the world, and like they're one of those false religions, right? But everything that I look into more and more with this, it looks like they are one of the quote-unquote false religions. They look just like them. They're trying to be more, more mainstream. Oh yeah, they look like a little bit of a broke-ass church. One can only hope, though, that they're not getting as much funding. Chester, for the love of God, boy. Sorry, my cat he's having a thing right now. I'm going to read your comments really quickly before I pop back over and finish reading what that other page had to offer. Let's see here. Cam says, the blood issue, the treatment of women, and the way they treat people in the LGBT community, just to name a few. Yeah, I remember my grandma saying that LGBT people were disgusting, gay people, lesbians, all that stuff, transgender people, that they're all disgusting. She used the word disgusting. Like you could see she was physically recoiling at the idea of somebody being LGBT. And that really made me sad and uncomfortable, and I didn't realize why until much later in my life, when I started to realize I was one of them. And the fear that I felt when she would say that kind of stuff was because I knew deep down, not only was I one of them, but that I was going to be thought of as disgusting and be rejected and stuff. The young ones just gave me shivers. Let's see here. Hold on. I'm just going to pop this back open. Why is it... Oh, did I close the chat? I did close the chat. Okay, good. Sorry. I meant on the picture, not to where I can't read it. But let's see here. Yeah. Women ain't allowed to wear trousers. It's crazy how they pick and choose from the Old Testament. They probably got a bunch of apostates accessing it. Yep. That's probably why they had to close down their Facebook page. Although, even though it says they closed it down, there are a few more posts after that, which I thought was weird and funny. They also put the kids' pictures, like I said, the reason I'm not showing the Facebook is because they put the kids' pictures all over it, which bothers me quite a lot. Let's see here. Do y'all, local Kingdom Hall, missing the JW or JW.org sign? If you're asking if the local Kingdom Halls around here are missing it, no. They're all still there. At least the last time I've driven by them, which was pretty recently. I don't intentionally drive by them, but they're like all over the place here, so I'll pass by some, on the way somewhere else frequently, and yep, they're still there. Big old ugly blue eyesores stuck to the outside of the building. Cats like to knock everything out of where it's supposed to be. Yes, Chester really likes the sound of my recycling, because it clinks a lot, and it crinkles and stuff, and he loves that. But he doesn't like any of the toys I buy him, because that's not good enough for him. He has to pilfer my recyclables. New World Order School. Yep. It's called New System Schools, but close enough. I mean, it's the same thing. I haven't noticed really agnostic. A church. There we go. A church that doesn't quite get enough in the collection plate. Yep. Like I said earlier, let's hope. The Kingdom Hall I attended has the gates closed and says, "Go to Zoom." Well, geez, it's pretty curt, pretty succinct. I haven't been to the Kingdom Hall in years, thankfully. It was one of the things that I listed in my DA letter, actually. Oh, that's funny. Okay, so let's go back to the page and read what these people are about. Okay? Let's have a look. Why teach my children at home? According to God's Word, the Bible, parents have a serious responsibility for the education of their children. Sorry, I'm doing the elder voice. They are responsible to train up a child. Oh, I hate that book. I hate that book. To Train Up a Child. I don't know if y'all have heard of it, but like, if you really want to be angry and triggered, go read To Train Up a Child. It'll piss you off. They are responsible to train up a child from infancy in a way that will instill family values, good morality, concern for others. Yeah, they really do a great job at teaching that. And a deep understanding of the principles and laws found in the Bible. The arrangement of teaching your own children is a precious one and deserves responsible attention. Yeah, okay, so interesting. So it seems like they do have a building and everything. I just showed you what it looks like on the inside. It looks like a freaking church. But this is like a way for them to be a private school but get away with teaching at home. It's weird. I wonder if they get any tax breaks for this, like either the people who run the school or the parents. And I wonder how much money they're making off of this. This says it's nonprofit, but that's got to be BS. I mean, JWs say they're nonprofit, but we all know that's absolute nonsense. Teaching in home versus public school. Here we go. It is well recognized, even by many secular authorities, that today's public school environment leaves much to be desired for educating children. Yeah, probably not as bad as your school. Classrooms are overcrowded, many children are inattentive and even disruptive. Teachers have more than they can handle, and school budgets are strained to the limit. Sincere teachers try very hard to educate their students, but generally are not allocated enough time since the student load is so great. You mean the need is greater? Just kidding. Sorry, I didn't mean to trigger anybody. The public schools are turning out a majority of students with insufficient reading and reasoning skills. Yeah, so are Jehovah's Witnesses. But just kidding. Actually, most of the JWs I know are pretty well read and not well read, as in like they don't read a bunch of stuff outside of what the word gives them, but they are pretty good at reading. Not so much reasoning. I mean, they're good at reasoning the way they're taught to reason, if that makes any sense. Like, they're good at doing the mental gymnastics they need to do in order to arrive at the conclusion that the organization is correct. But, critical thinking takes development, and there's nothing to be ashamed of there. Because it's not their fault. Alright, let's continue. Parents who are already spending a great deal of time supplementing their children's public education due to the sometimes overwhelming daily homework assignments. Wait, what? Oh, parents who care are already spending a great deal of time supplementing their children's public education due to the due to the sometimes overwhelming daily homework assignments. Wow. They really need to make these paragraphs shorter. So why not take it a step further and teach your children at home? In the home environment, a child can be taught one-on-one and will learn much more efficiently. The personality of the child can be taken into account and special effort put into areas where the child needs extra help. The resulting education is much more balanced since the child does not get behind. And it does not get behind as so often happens in a public school environment. They have things for kids who get behind in public school. I would know. I got behind a little bit, and I ended up taking a little extra help course, and it really helped me out. Like, it put me back on track so well that, like, I was in honors courses of the thing that I was actually behind in the previous year. I was in honors courses the following year. So, I mean, it's not like public school sucks that much. Jeez, they make it sound like it's absolute garbage. I mean, I guess that may depend on what area you're in. I'm sure there are public schools that are actually not that great, but still, any public school has to be better than a Jehovah's Witness homeschool situation. Let's see here. it actually takes significantly less time to cover material in comparison to the public system, since a child can progress at her own rate. Okay, it's a co-ed school, so I don't know why they say at her own rate instead of the rate of the entire class. If a young one is good at math while less accomplished at English, why can't he progress in math at a rate that fits his ability while taking a bit longer with English? Okay, so what are they trying to say? Are they trying to say that, like, girls get behind more, but, like, guys are just better at math? That's funny. Okay. Let's see. Would a public school allow a student to be in 5th grade math and 4th grade English at the same time? Probably not. The point is, we all have different schools and interests. We learn faster in some things, slower in others. The parent must see that the child progresses fully in each subject, but can do so at a rate that suits the individual child. Public school simply does not allow allow that flexibility, since too many children are involved in the process. But as a teacher in a home-based school, see, they're really careful not to call it homeschool, which is funny. You will have much more flexibility in choosing your own curriculum, teaching times, and methods. Your responsibility is great, since you must achieve an educational standard higher than the public schools. Fortunately, it has been proven over and over again that children taught in the home are simply better educated. Statistics show that they are better prepared for life in this difficult world. Again, I don't know. I don't know how I feel about that. Home educated children they don't want to call it homeschool. This is some of that JW, tricky language that they like to use. They have been actively avoiding calling it homeschool this whole time. Home educated children are generally excel in all areas of life with higher IQs, more balanced personalities, and a better grasp of how to deal with the difficulties of life. I could be wrong about this, but I don't think that you can, I don't think your IQ is affected by, how much you study. I think your IQ is just your IQ, but I don't know. I could be wrong. I remember that's what they told us back when I took an IQ test in school. 144, by the way. Or as I like to tell people, 12 squared. Yeah, I know I'm horrible. I'm a dork. Anyway, if you choose to join us in educating your children according to sound home-based methods, again, they don't want to call it homeschool, you will benefit by having better educated children. Period. Yeah, I'm sure. Okay, let me run back to the comments before we move on to the next section of their garbage site, which is curriculum. Oh, God. Oh, look, they got a couple of old people. Ponies and horses. Wow, that kid did not think about the color scheme, because the S is purple and the E is purple, so it just kind of blends into the purple thing. Oh, yeesh. Well, let's see here. Ooh, looks like the chat got some action here. Let's see here. Ooh. Worst book ever. Yes, yeah, it is a really bad book. To Train Up a Child, horrible book. Major triggers for child abuse. Yeah, in that book, by the way, in case anybody's wondering, and here comes your trigger warning for child abuse, it tells you to, spank babies. Yeah, and my grandmother used to tell me to do that. Tell me to do that with my own children, and I was like, "Yeah, that's not going to happen. They're little babies. How are they going to understand? They're not." I don't know. I just don't like the idea of, and you can disagree with me all you want, whoever is watching, but I just don't like the idea of spanking children of any age, because you can talk to children. They're actually very smart, smarter than people give them credit for. And they can understand a lot more than people really give them credit for. But spanking, all that does is teach children to be afraid of the person who is spanking them. It doesn't teach you how to behave properly, because it doesn't teach you why what you did is wrong. It just teaches you that if you do it again, you're going to get an ass whooping. To be afraid. That's all it is. And really, you're not even afraid of doing something bad. You're afraid of pissing off your parent. And that could mean a whole range of things. You still don't really get that what you did was bad. You just get that what you did means your parents probably going to beat your ass. And again, sorry for mentioning child abuse stuff, but like, my childhood right there. Let's see here. You can't use logic with a JW, unfortunately. Not always, no. There are some that, like, they realize that it's not the best, what they're doing is not the best, but they'll still, relent and give into the organization's brainwashing crap, Okay. Oh, hey Ryan, what's up? We're talking about Jehovah's Witnesses and how they have their own weird schools, and they're trying to pretend that that it's not the same as homeschooling, and they're trying to pretend this is somehow better than going to public school. Yeah, let's see here. There were 2 elders that were named Young in the south side of San Antonio. One was on the judicial committee that dissed my dad in the 60s. Oh, that sucks. I believe it. Young is one of those names that you're going to find in a lot of congregations, because at least I understand it to be kind of like a big family in the JWs. Like, there are a lot of Youngs. A lot of people are related to each other that are named Young. It's just one of those big JW families. And there are a few families that are very prominent in JWs. Young is one of them. It's probably why they can get away with having a JW school, to be honest. Let's see here. Yeah, sorry. Jeez. 1 second. Oh, sorry, you can't read the chat very well. Oh, hi, Jehovah's Witness Nightmare Theater. Didn't see you there. Let's see here. Yeah, I hope you've been around for some of this. This is crazy stuff. Nope, I agree. I don't like the idea of ever hitting a child. I'd talk it out and reason with them. Good, because they can think. They're human beings, They're not like pieces of wood. They understand things. It helps them build their skills and be a well-rounded and behaved person. Yeah, because then they understand why what they did was wrong. Let's see here. I remember mothers covering the mouth of children when a child was crying. Yeah, I saw a lot of that in my congregation too. Actually, I remember I have memories of having my mouth covered, and also having the back of my arm pinched. I grew up in a Latin house. Me too. My whole family is like Mexican, Spaniard, and we have some German too, which is it's a great combination with Hispanic people, right? Food-wise, it's a great combination anyway. But yeah, we have German and Hispanic, and I'm part German myself, and part Mexican and part Spaniard. So yeah, the cultures are very like, at least if you know anything about German and Hispanic culture, you know that corporal punishment, at least in the past, was pretty common and almost encouraged and expected. I don't know about now. I think times are changing. I think people are starting to wake up to the idea that that's actually very damaging to children. So hopefully. Let's see here. I hope none of this is triggering anybody. I'm sure it probably is, but I really don't want that to be the case. I'm not trying to upset people. I am trying to let people know about some really upsetting things, but not trying to upset anybody. So I hope you're all doing all right. And if not, please feel free to stop watching this stream and go take a break, because I want everybody to be okay. Let's see here. New system school. I bet there's immaculate contentions inside of it. It's a trick. it's a trick is definitely something I would say about that school. It is a trick. They intentionally try not to call it homeschool. Like the whole paragraph that I just got through reading, the whole page of stuff, they did everything they could to avoid calling it a homeschool, including starting at the beginning saying it's not a homeschool. But they would do like home educated or educating at home or whatever, schooled at home, that kind of thing. Jehovah's Witness Nightmare Theater says, I was spanked with a 60s thick leather belt. By 16, I wore it. I was spanked until, like, until I realized, oh, screw this, I can run away. And I used to just run. Like, my grandmother wasn't going to catch me. I mean, she was pretty sprightly for her age, and even still is, to this day, pretty sprightly for her age. But there was no way she was going to catch my little 10 and 12-year-old ass running down the street. Like, bye. I literally would run, hop on my bike, and be gone for the rest of the day. I mean, I knew I was gonna get in big trouble when I got back home, but I didn't care. I remember a few times she actually told me to spank myself. She would tell me, here, back in the day we used to cut a switch from the tree, and if it wasn't big enough, we'd have to go cut an even bigger one after we got a beating with the first one. And I'm like, oh my god. And then she was like, yeah, so here's the belt. I want you to spank yourself to my satisfaction. And I would be like, what? But no matter what I do, there's no way I'm going to be able to spank myself. That's like trying to tickle yourself. You know how that works. Have you ever tried to tickle yourself? It doesn't work. It doesn't work because you're doing it to you. Just like if you try to spank yourself, there's no way you're going to hit yourself hard enough for it to matter to them. Because, like, your body automatically kind of stops you from, like, really, really hurting yourself. It's just a built-in mechanism in your brain. You're just not going to do it. And of course, I never was able to spank myself to her satisfaction, so I would end up having her yank the belt from my hand and continue to beat me with it herself. I don't miss that stuff. Oh man. Not just the belt, but the wet belt and the belt with studs on it, and just various objects in the house, including parts from the inner tube of a tire, extension cords, crap like that. Anyway, I'll stop talking about that. I'm sure that's really upsetting to hear. I heard that they have a nursing home or senior assisted living. They do, and it's bad. They actually just got in trouble for their living conditions not being up to par. Like, it's really bad, and I'm not even surprised. They don't treat their elderly very well in the cult. Not in every congregation, I guess, because, like, my grandmother, she has people, that will help her sometimes when she's not doing well. That much I know, but from what I understand, like, the really, really old ones who are basically not able to go out in service anymore, aka not be of use anymore, they get ignored. They'll get an announcement from the platform if they end up in the hospital or if they end up dying. And they'll get a funeral in the Kingdom Hall if they were in good standing. But yeah, otherwise they're pretty much overlooked. Even though everybody talks about how wise they are and stuff and how we should respect our elders, yeah, not from what I saw. It wasn't good for them. They pretty much get forgotten. I'll give you something to cry about. Oh yeah, I remember that. Actually, I remember being told by my uncle that if I called the police on him, that he would make it worth their while. Yeah. Never saw a podium in a school class before. Very controlling. Yep. Also, something that I want to show you real quick again about that. Let me see here. Let's go back. Because I wanted to show you, since you mentioned the podium. Is this the photo? Yes, this is the photo right here. I don't know if you can see this, but I thought this thing here, that podium, I thought it was a cross at first. Because that's what it looks like. That's why this whole thing looks like a church. It's weird. I mean, honestly, it looks like if a church and a Kingdom Hall had a baby, this is what this is here. It's really weird and I don't like it. Let's see here. Brazilian, German, Cuban, and Spaniard here. I'm a mix. Yeah. I used to tell people that I'm a Mexican. Because, I mean, there's a lot of stuff going on. I even have Native American. Aztec, to be specific. My mouth was covered too. White boy. Yeah, no, I believe it. I believe it. You know, it's not a cultural thing to have your mouth covered or to be abused. It's, you know, it transcends culture. It's just that, like, in some cultures, it's more of a thing. You know, I think there are other cultures that like to pretend that's not a thing, or they like to keep it out of sight, you know, out of public sight, or not talk about it, but they'll still do it. Especially, it also varies by generation. Older generations definitely did that stuff more. I heard that the nursing home had a lot of cases of neglect and mistreatment. It did. It did. There was a whole... They got in trouble for it. I'll check this out later, thanks. You bet, Gary. Thanks for showing up. Alright, now back to the nonsense here, because we need to check this out. The curriculum. Let's see here. How much worse can this get? Also, who are these old people? What are they doing? I hope these aren't students. Let's see here. Curriculum information. New System School Incorporated approaches the curriculum needs of the student by responding to the individual needs, educational goals, life goals, and abilities and interests of the student. It is flexible, interesting, and varied. Okay, stop right there. You guys are so full of crap. I highly doubt that if a kid's like, yeah, I want to be I don't know, a horticulturalist, or I want to be a marine biologist, I highly doubt you're going to cater to that. I think we all know what they mean by educational goals and life goals and abilities and interests. We're talking about kingdom interests and whatever they can do for the cult. That's what they're worried about here. That's what they're teaching to. And you'll see that there's other parts of the website that definitely hint at that too. Language arts, including communication and reading skills, math, science, and social studies, including history and geography, form the central curriculum. Life skills and preparation for the career of their choice within the organization. They don't say that, but that's totally a subtext there. Trades, family responsibilities, and single life preparation skills are all provided. Single life? Okay. I see how that is. I'm guessing they're like trying to pretend that they're not pressuring people to get married, but whatever. Fine arts, music, art, and creative expression are all encouraged, as long as it doesn't piss off Jehovah. Health, physical education, and Bible instruction are part of the curriculum. Let's see here. Let me guess. PE is going door knocking, right? Okay, you have to do 20 laps around the neighborhood. Educational goals are reached through structured discipline studies, one-on-one attention, informal communication, research facilities, literature, and travel. Travel, huh? Research facilities. That's really creepy. Research facilities, though? I don't know, man. I don't know. That sounds really sketch. Children are helped to communicate with people of all ages, backgrounds, life skills, and interests, to care for others, respect animals and property, acquire thinking ability and discernment, and good judgment as to right and wrong, good study habits, and how to seek out knowledge and be attuned to sources of information. Yeah, they're going to learn how to take good notes at the door so they know which magazine to bring you next time. And they're going to learn how to Google stalk you so that they can figure out if you're actually living there, so they can write you a letter that's more personalized. True facts, by the way. A lifelong interest in reading and learning usually develops in our students. Community service usually becomes part of their life after graduation. See, that's what I'm talking about. Community service. We all know what they're talking about. They're talking about you're going to become a pioneer after graduation, or you're just going to be out in service for like half of your existence. You know, you're going to work and then go out in service, work and go to a meeting, work and go out in service, work and go to a meeting. That's going to be your life. Community service, my ass, by the way. It's like community crime. Source materials are made available to students and parents and are matched to the student's learning style. Yeah, so this is basically a little indoctrination program. And I don't like it. I don't like it one bit. Let's see here. Enrollment in the new system school. Please don't have pictures of children. Oh, thank God. Okay, good. The school year runs from June 1st to May 31st. Enrollment can take place anytime during the year. However, it's best to be done during the summer or winter break. All parents are required to carry the Homeschool Legal Defense Association coverage. Wow. HSLDA is a group of lawyers who have the purpose of defending those who are enrolled as homeschoolers or in a private school, as the case may be in your state. You can fill out their application online. You should call your local NSS, that's New System School, office for the group discount number for your state. They get a fucking group discount for that? God, them and their group discounts. Like, oh, we're going to a convention in Houston. Make sure you ask for the group discount at the Hyatt or wherever the hell they're staying. I wonder how much of a, how much of a cut they can get, working with certain places. Anyway, that's really sketchy that they need a legal defense automatically, just right off the bat. And yet they won't extend any legal defense to children who have been abused. I'm sure that legal defense association crap isn't for the children's benefit, really. That already tells me there's some sketchy shit going on, and that their education isn't as good as they're saying. Why else would they need a legal defense, to be required? Let's see here. Oh, by the way, everything I'm saying is speculation, other than the stuff that's being literally read off the website. My own opinions are my opinions, and speculation. I have no proof because I haven't gotten into contact with these people about the stuff that I happen to be giving my opinions on. But, take them with a grain of salt, of course. I will try to get into contact with them, though, and that'll be in a future video. Expenses. Expenses involved in using New System School are the information/enrollment package. That's $20. Really? So in order for me to have contact with these people and ask them how I'm supposed to enroll my kids, it's already going to cost me $20 just to find out? Sketchy. Just another Watchtower scam, even though they claim not to be associated with or affiliated with them. Homeschool Legal Defense Association, $115 per year per family with our discount number. Gosh. Okay, that's way more expensive than... Yeah, that's two, almost... That's a little less than 2 Amazon Prime subscriptions. That's really expensive, y'all. Come on. Your curriculum, not sold by New System School, but we provide a list of providers. Interesting. So they're supposed to be really good at stuff and have everything all customized for you, but they don't even make their own curriculum. I mean, I guess that's kind of good, but I haven't seen the quality of their curriculum before, so I'm not sure. Dues, $175 per family, but they don't say how often. Huh. Dues, okay. End of the year reports and proof of HSLDA coverage are due after May 31st, but before August 1st of each school year when re-enrolling. So you have to pay $175 a year just to be there. $115 for their legal defense crap. You have to buy your own books and curriculum and worksheets and all that. And you have to pay $20 just to find out, if you can even go there. Yeah. Non-profit my ass. Okay, first of all, they don't even make their own curriculum. So, why do you need to... I don't know. Why do they need dues is what I'm asking. Why do they need dues if they're not even doing anything except for, they have one building that I think the only reason that they have that building is for school events, because, again, this is, it's disguised as a private school, but they tell you, that you do all this crap at home. So it's home school, but, they do have a building, clearly. Let's go back. See, they have a building, and it's got audio hookup. They obviously use it for events, and from what I've seen in other pictures, which I won't show because they have kids in them, This building is used for stuff like graduation, and I guess like presentations and stuff. So, I don't know. Weird. Keeping a portfolio. Okay, well, before we go on to that stuff, I'm gonna pop back over to the chat, see what y'all have to say. Much worse, much worse. Oh, let's see here. Jehovah hates my art. Well, Jehovah sucks, so what does he know? His art's gross. I mean, Jehovah steals his art from magazines and stuff. So Jehovah doesn't know squat about art. I heard of a story where a watchtower conductor in Hobart Central Congregation stepped off the platform and hit his daughter in front of the entire congregation. Hold on. Let me see something here. There we go. I used to go on JW Facebook pages. Let's see here. Where did I go? Oh, I used to go on JW Facebook pages and comment on all the reviews. I really want to make a review of my Kingdom Hall. I don't care if they know I'm an apostate, lol. Yeah, do it. That's a type of activism. You should do it. Leave reviews on all the Kingdom Halls, not even just your old one. Like, you can go leave reviews on their Kingdom Halls, leave reviews on their Assembly Halls. I don't know if y'all have dedicated Assembly Halls, but we have one here in town, and I got to go when it first opened, and it's so hilarious. Like, it's a nice building and all, but like there's like creepy cult art all over the walls. They have like a mini museum with a bunch of old Rutherford and whatever crap, you know, like his old little magazines and stuff, and you can push a button and hear him talk. It's weird. And then there's like the baptism area, which is in the back of the main auditorium. Like, it's behind where everybody sits. It's like glass, and it looks like a little waterfall going into a pool, and it's creepy. It's like an exhibit at the zoo. Like, people are supposed to stand in front of the glass and watch the person behind the glass get baptized in that little pool with a little fake waterfall. So weird. And it's not like back in the day when we would go to the assembly, like, or a convention, and there would be like a big ass above ground pool, you know, the plastic cheap ones that you can get where everybody just kind of climbs in through a ladder or whatever. No, this is like they made it into a zoo exhibit, and they try to make it fancy, but it just ends up looking really creepy. Like you're on display. Hate it. And then everybody crowds around and watches you and takes pictures, and there's weird music playing. It's just, I would not want that to happen to me. Do y'all go on Rick Fearon's live chat on Saturday? No, I do not. I do not watch Rick Fearon for lots of reasons. I won't get into that because I'm not here to talk about, you know, that kind of stuff. But no, to answer your question, no, I do not and won't. Let's see here. Let's see here. We used to, I think they sold it. Oh, all the cult art. That just unlocked a memory. The pool. Yep. Oh, they know. You don't go, you must be an apostate. Yep, exactly. Like, if you make a negative comment, even if you've never been to a Kingdom Hall in your life and you go and you talk crap on them, they'll just call you an apostate, even if you've never had any affiliation with them. My social media is also filled with "I'm glad I'm not in the cult anymore" posts. So yeah, they know Nightmare Theater. Yep, they do. Ugh. Alright. Excuse me, I'm sorry if that's really loud or anything. Just needed a little shot of caffeine, because I'm going to have to get through this boring website again. Don't worry, there's not that much left, because they purposely don't put a lot of info on here. I guess they don't want people to see anything without paying for it, which is, in my opinion, a scam. If it costs you money to get information about going to a cult school, that's a scam. Let's see here. I guess they're mad because they can't charge for magazines anymore. Here we go. May I ask if you talked to Denise? Denise Hedberg? Yeah, I do. You can ask her, actually. She'll tell you. We used to work together on a show that I used to do here on YouTube, actually. Called The B School, where I taught people how to do activism with a couple of my friends. Alright, let's see. School information. Enrollment information, we already went through that, so let's go through the portfolio. Okay, that one has children on it, but we scrolled right through that. Let's see here. Portfolio information for all grades. I'm guessing they do like K through 12, so that's lovely. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention earlier that because they said that your parents, the parents of all the students, are registered as faculty. I don't like that. I don't like that. There's something very wrong with that. And I mean, again, this just puts students in a situation where they're going to be in a lot of danger. Like, if you're at home with your abuser all the time, being controlled by them, having your information controlled by them, and all that crap, I can't even imagine. If my grandma had been in charge of teaching me, I probably wouldn't have learned much. Like, I probably would have dissociated my way through school because she's just, her teaching me to drive was really stressful. She used to punch me in the arm. Anyway. The portfolio for each student may be a notebook or file for each subject or course. Dates, events, materials, when field trips occurred, and where, all should be recorded as accurately as possible. So yeah, parents can clearly lie and fudge this info. So you're not even guaranteed a good education here, even if you do, like, even if they have good curriculum, you're still not guaranteed a good education here. Since we are educationally minded, you will find that there will be much to record or save. High school students should remember that these records and evaluations may be useful for later toward a resume or portfolio for the student applying for work or school elsewhere. Now that's sketchy because I noticed they say school, but they don't say college. So they're probably saying, like, if you have to go to another, like a public school or something else, you know, you're going to have to keep these records because they're important. But I noticed that they avoid saying, like, so you can apply to college. Wonder why. This may include workbooks, pictures, records of field trips, movies or videos, or educational, historical, or literary work, speaking assignments, and research. Note the publishers, authors' names, names of textbooks, books, articles, or papers studied, courses taken, such as computer, foreign language, gym classes, music or art lessons, computer, automotive, or home repair manuals, how-to books, gardening, cooking, and sewing books, etc., or other written materials. Record all written material covered for each subject. Keeping a portfolio is good even if you also test the students. What? What do you mean, even if you also test the students? They don't test them? Lucky. That's like the only good thing about this school, is you don't have to be tested. Keep all of their work in a file for each subject, whether the student is in high school or elementary school. What about middle school? Maybe do they not do middle school? Record the instructor's name, or supervisor's or employer's name, and where the instruction or work, etc. was done and when. Try to get a certificate, statement, or written evaluation from the instructor, institution, employer, or supervisor. Keep a record of hours worked if doing vocational work. Keep all written materials studied that support vocational work. New System School requires written materials to be used in conjunction with all courses, and all courses must include progressive learning. This progression may be kept documented in a portfolio listing skills mastered, goals reached, and materials studied. Okay, alright, so the next paragraph says they do test, but I wanted to say something first. Vocational work, huh? And get a certificate or statement written from the instructor, institution, employer, or supervisor. See, keep a record of hours worked if doing vocational work. So what this says to me is you can get caught up in child labor in this. Like, you can be pimped out to be used by some, maybe a construction company or a window washing company or whatever, and it's probably going to be a JW company, somebody you know in your congregation. So this is a way to get child labor for free. Which child labor is illegal in general, unless you're at a certain age, but then you can only work certain hours. But they're trying to do this to get child labor for free. Again, just more ways this school is harmful. Save all testing, whether it is done privately or by others. Record socialization that may be classed into subject courses. Example, playing ball with a group may be kept in the PE portfolio. Wow, that's a really low threshold that they have there for what's considered PE. Yeah, I saw my kid playing with this other kid on down the street, so that counts, right? Note what activities occurred, when, and evaluate the student's participation. Put this in the portfolio for that subject. Any details will substantiate the process of the student in each subject. Should be kept. Any details that will substantiate the progress of each student in the subject should be kept in the portfolio for that subject. So basically what they're saying is, you just kind of write down whatever you think counts as schoolwork or counts as something for that particular subject, and give some details. Make some shit up if you have to, but yeah, get her done. Like, make it work. I don't like that. You're gonna hear me say that a lot about this freaking thing, but yeah, I do not like that. 1 second. I'm gonna pop my face back on over here. Let's check the chat. Got to bounce, peace and love and apostasy. Later, JW Nightmare Theater. You have a good night. And when you work at a certain age, they are required to give you breaks every 4 hours, at least here in Florida. Yeah. You're also not allowed, I think, to work more than, I don't know how it is everywhere else, but in Texas, it's like you can only work, I think it's like below part-time hours. Like, it's really low, and you have to be 14. But at least you also get paid. And it doesn't sound like you're going to get paid doing whatever the hell they want you to do here. So that makes me angry. Let's see. I'm going to just grab another page here. Okay. So they have a frequently asked questions page. This is so creepy. I'm going to show you what it looks like. Okay. Let me put up the chat, because there we go. Yeah, frequently asked questions. Hold on, I'm gonna move this over here. You go over here, buddy. I don't know if that's worse. Yeah, this is fine. Alright. Let me see. Let me just... Eek. Okay. Yeah, sorry, I'm gonna turn off the chat then. For now. Right, so frequently asked questions. It's got the Bible right up there. Because I guess that's... You just ask the Bible? I don't know why they put the Bible there. Okay. So, let's check it out. The legal age for starting school will depend on the state laws where you live. You may contact HSLDA, that's their legal thing, that they make you subscribe to every year, or do your own investigation of the laws in the area. Can we put the child back into public school if we don't like this, or it quote-unquote doesn't work out? Homeschooling, or private schooling, depending on the state you live in, is not to be done on a trial basis. Research the issue as carefully as possible and read through our information. If returned to public school, there is no guarantee that the school will put the student into the correct grade. Testing may be insisted upon, and the tests may be harder than other children have had to take in similar grades. In high school, credits may or may not be counted. This may affect graduating with the class they expected to be with. Research it well. Yeah, what they're saying is the obvious, well, what's obvious to me anyway, is the crap you're teaching your kids might not actually count out in the real world, so be careful, and maybe don't do this willy-nilly. While we do not recommend homeschooling as a trial, you may find that it is not working out to the student's benefit for you to keep him or her out of public school. Only you and your family can decide the best course to choose. What about scheduling? Set aside usual hours for academics while being flexible. Often, the first year is the hardest because some expect homeschooling to be exactly like public school. This is not the case. Just relax and enjoy having your children close to you during these difficult times we are living in. This is pre-COVID that they wrote this, by the way, because the last activity I've seen of these people is like back in 2017. So guess they're just talking about Armageddon being just around the corner. Schedules vary, but most do school in the morning and other activities in the afternoon. Suit your family needs and give your children some flexibility. You may wish to read up on time management or organizational skills. Provide educational tools that enhance their abilities. First, get to know the needs of your students and consider the needs of others in the family as well. You may wish to divide school time, some in the morning and some in the evening on some days. Awards, certificates of promotion, diplomas, ID cards. These are available through your local NSS office. Yeah, pieces of paper that they're probably going to charge you for and probably don't count for anything. The Homeschool Legal Defense Association. Lovely. The application may be requested and your questions may be answered by calling them at, and there's the number, or you may visit them at their website. There's a website. This is a group of lawyers with a network that is geared to helping you in your choice of private education, including homeschooling if you wish. They are from various religious, geographical, and educational backgrounds. See, they work with the false religions. They are united in supporting you in your educational choice, but expect you to do your part. The company has an application that screens families before they are accepted, so you have to actually be screened and accepted first before you can pay for this legal defense crap that is required to even get into the school. That's ridiculous, but whatever. As long as it keeps more kids out of the school, that's good. Their concerns include supervision of the children as they are educated, curriculum being adequate, shared teaching responsibilities, and employment schedules. In general, NSS families are usually accepted because of the diligence of the parents in accepting their responsibilities. We would like to see that continue, and you can help. HSLDA, as we commonly call it, you mean you just use the acronym? Understands the laws you will operate under, and you may call them at any time for legal advice. Should anyone question your educational position for your children, this organization will come to your aid. If your family has had legal problems in the past, do not hesitate to explain this to them. They can usually still defend you. One thing they cannot get involved in is custody disputes. It's a whole other subject. Getting HSLDA membership is a requirement of NSS parents. This is a legal arrangement that understands our position. Do your part by getting this service. This group deals with all kinds of situations. They have helped NSS as a whole and individual member families many times in emergency situations. Just call or letter from them has prevented many problems. How will you know what laws you are operating under? Since laws vary from state to state, it is a real challenge to keep up with all the details. NSS makes every effort to keep informed, trying to help you place your educational arrangement under the least restrictive and most beneficial set of laws. Your state may have different laws governing homeschools or private schools or church-related schools. The responsibility of understanding your legal position will be upon you. Learn the laws they will use in your defense and consistently stay under them. HSLDA will help you to understand these laws and other details about your legal position. NSS has a group discount number, and you may use it if you are actually enrolled or are enrolling in NSS. They send us a list of NSS members in each state. The cost has been $95 per family per year. With our discount, and they will send you a renewal reminder each year. Having HSLDA membership is required by NSS families as long as you have a student that is in the compulsory school education range. Boy, they really like to repeat that you got to pay for their crap. Okay. Testing or portfolio. NHS. NHS. NSS requires each student to be either tested or keep a portfolio of each subject for each school year. NSS has free testing available to members for K through 9. If other testing is required, your package should explain or call HSLDA. So you can get free testing all the way up until the 9th grade. After that, you on your own. Kindergarten, preschool, and elementary school questions. My child is under the compulsory school age. Do I have to enroll him anywhere? No. You may do so if you wish. You may teach the child kindergarten, etc., without being in any school at ages under compulsory school laws. Many children read before then. I did. We have a form that you can report this work on if you use NSS later. Oh, my young student isn't interested in school, reading, or academics. Help. If the child has not learned to read, remember that many are not ready at a very early age. Some have had their natural desire to learn stifled by institutional programs and will soon blossom right in front of your eyes. Read to the child. Provide little short books that may interest him. Let the child see you enjoy reading, and he will soon learn to love reading. You know, there's a reason teachers have to go to school. You know, it's because they learn skills on how to work with children that have various types of, learning styles and even issues they may run into. Throwing this all on the parent is just, it's a recipe for disaster. Some children can handle this, but it's not for everybody. I think this is really crappy that they keep shitting on public school, acting like public school is pretty much the devil and is going to be useless when, it's really not the greatest thing to do to put your kid in a situation where they're relying on somebody who may or may not have any kind of experience with teaching children, to help them learn. And if you have an abusive parent, that's even worse, because then your abusive parent might get frustrated with you and start hurting you because you're not on track or whatever, or you're not progressing the way they expect you to. So that's horrible. How do we teach a child to read? There are inexpensive books that really work. The enrollment package should give you some information on that. Again, you gotta buy your own crap. For children who need lower level reading on all subjects, Steckvon has inexpensive books that will help. My child is reading already. How do I keep him from getting bored? You may allow them to advance quickly and provide higher level grade work materials if you wish. There is no shortage of materials. What is Book It? This is a reading incentive program sponsored by Pizza Hut for kindergarten through 6th grade students. It begins in the fall of each year and lasts for 5 months. During this time, you may enroll your child in the Book It program. Coupons will be sent to you for 5 free personal pan pizzas for each participating child. The child does not need to know how to read, but you may read books to them or be teaching them to read from books. It is a fun program for the children. Sweet, I want to sign up. Can I be in 6th grade again? I want to read some books for pizza. Also, I feel like that's something that my grandmother would have known about, but still wouldn't have let me have. Just because she would have been like, no, you should want to read on your own because you love Jehovah. Anyway, goals and convictions of the new system school. Parents are primarily the ones responsible for the education of their children, whether the children are schooled privately or publicly. Education should encompass fear of Jehovah, respect for authority, and sound Bible education. Fear of Jehovah? They're really going to just put that in there? We already know how they feel about that, but it's on the freaking website. Look, fear of Jehovah. Wow. I'm surprised that's number 2. Education should cultivate thinking and reading ability, except for critical thinking. We don't like that. Education should provide practical skills for adult living. Education should enable recipients to be responsible Christians. Education should encourage good physical, emotional, mental, and spiritual health. Good luck with that. You're raising your kid in a cult, so that's automatic child abuse to me. and enable one to relate to people of various backgrounds, interests, and beliefs. Whoever wrote this site put a couple of errors here. And relate to people of different beliefs. Yeah, again, good luck with that. Education should assist one to avoid that which would have a detrimental effect on one's mental, emotional, physical, spiritual, and moral health. New System School Incorporated, while recommending social awareness, does not itself adhere to evolution, nationalism, racism, worldly philosophy, pagan festivities, or excessive competition. So this school is going to be boring as hell. It's basically like going to school in the Kingdom Hall. Fabulous. A central purpose for New System School Incorporated is to support parents in their endeavor to have their children grow up to be responsible Christians that contribute to society in a productive way. New System School Incorporated is international in scope. Therefore, while the students will be taught world, national, and local views in social, political, cultural, economic, and other areas, they will also be taught Christian neutrality. New System School Inc. will not support political involvement, revolutions, or religious intervention in affairs of governments. It is our belief that a Christian's purpose in life is to glorify God, Colossians 3:23 and 24, Hebrews 13 verse 5, Revelations 15 verse 4, and direct others to his kingdom, Matthew 24:14. This heavenly government is the total solution to mankind's problems. Total solution? Why does that sound like final solution? Oof. I mean, there is mass genocide, so yeah. And living by Bible standards of Christian conduct will prevent a multitude of disasters in the lives of our students. Proverbs 22, verse 3. As children grow, God's Word, the Bible, John 17:3, will be the textbook for instruction for their standard of conduct. Galatians 5:22 and 23. Daily Bible reading, Joshua 1:8, will be reinforced through publications such as Learn from the Great Teacher. Isn't that book obsolete? I thought it was obsolete. Learn from the Great Teacher for young students. And questions young people ask, answers that suck for preteens and teenagers. A wide variety of other publications assist families to apply Bible standards of conduct in their homes. Let's see here. Children who resist such fine education are patiently and kindly assisted by parents. Yeah, I bet. I fucking bet. As well as being provided association at local places of worship. So yeah, you're going to be forced to hang out with other JW children. Where the local congregation provides specific spiritual guidance. You're going to get taken to the back room using Matthew 18 where applicable. Parents who wish to keep such children enrolled in New System School Incorporated to continue their academic, spiritual, and emotional progress may do so, as long as the children remain at home. Oh dear. Oh dear. Wow. So yeah, back to that whole, it's bad that they're wanting you to like have your parent and a person who's not trained to, teach children, a parent who is potentially an abuser. Why that's bad, again, is like, let me just share with you a story from my childhood, okay? When I was a child, in 3rd grade, I have ADHD, okay? When I was in 3rd grade, I was having a really hard time paying attention in class because I found it very boring. I was always a gifted student, like from kindergarten on. Like, they tested me immediately. I had technically already completed kindergarten before I went into public kindergarten. I went to a private one. Sheesh. So yeah, 3rd grade. I was, struggling to pay attention because of my ADHD that wasn't diagnosed. And I wasn't doing my homework because I wasn't interested, and I was like completely bored by everything. So I ended up missing a few things and having a little bit of a hard time with my multiplication tables. My grandmother found out that I wasn't turning in my homework, and she got really angry at me because I got a bad grade on a test, and she locked me in my closet. My closet was a walk-in that actually had a door. She locked me in there in the dark and made me recite my times tables over and over again until I had them memorized. She left me in there for hours. By the time I got out, I was starving. And yeah, you bet your ass I remember my times tables. I also remember how I learned them too. I'm never going to forget that. And yeah, she did that because the teacher was telling her that I need to learn that stuff. I could not imagine having to have learned from my grandmother at home. I'm so glad that never happened. I used to want to, because I didn't like public school because I was not a very social kid. But my grandmother would have been a horrendous teacher. She would have been very abusive. I know she would have, just based on that and how she treated me while she was teaching me to drive. Absolutely terrifying. Yeah, just no. Anyway. So yeah, fear of Jehovah, all that jazz. Let's see here. This is so sketchy. It makes me think that the school curriculum they have is not enough for the state. It isn't. It probably isn't. That's why they need a legal team and all that crap. That's why they have to make up crap in their portfolio. You heard what they said. Ow, sorry, my tailbone. You heard what they said, though, on the website. You don't have to test students necessarily. You can skip that part as long as you keep a portfolio of what they have been learning in each subject. And it was literally telling you how to make shit up and write that stuff in the portfolio. Oh yeah, if they're playing ball with a friend or whatever, you can count that as PE. Just write down some details, make it look good, and that counts. Yeah. So that is very sketchy. Teaching a person to read is hard. They make it seem like it's easy. Yikes. Yeah, I mean, for some kids, they pick it up really fast. Some kids do. I was reading when I was 1. I know that sounds crazy, but yes, I was reading when I was 1, and not just reading little books and stuff. By 2, I think I was already reading stuff like Time magazine. My grandma used to tell me a story about that all the time. That I'd be, in a doctor's office reading the Time magazine or whatever that they had sitting out. So yeah, some kids pick it up. But then there are other kids who have legitimate, they have legitimate learning. What do you call them? Not is it called a learning disability? But either way, they have problems like dyslexia or, that thing where they can't, where numbers kind of jumble themselves up, stuff like that. They have legitimate issues that need help from somebody who's trained to know the correct way to help them. And let's be real here. If you're a JW parent, you're probably working a manual labor type job because you weren't allowed to go to college. You're probably really strapped for time and strapped for money. And you're also spending a lot of, if you're this deep that you're sending your kids to a private school, signing them up for private, not homeschool, even though it kind of is, then that means that you're really deep in, and you're probably also out in service a lot, and you're attending meetings all the time. So what the hell does that mean? You don't have any time to be learning special methods to teach your children how to read or to help them with their learning disability. So what? You make it up, or what? Or your kid just struggles and that's it? That's probably what happens. They probably do just end up making it up and saying, yeah, my kid figured it out. Yep, they passed this grade. They're good. Yeah, all of this is just bad. And I think, and the other bad thing, like I said, that happens is if the parent doesn't know what they're doing, they'll get frustrated. If they're an abusive parent, they'll get frustrated and take it out on the child. The only thing... sorry, he said, I got so many pizzas from that program because I love to read. Oh, I wish I had known about that program. That's not fair. I'm glad you got your pizzas, though. Let's see here. They need to make one for adults, because there's a lot of adults who don't read enough. Let's see here. You know this is terrible. Yeah, it is terrible. Fear of Jehovah. I was reading hefty chapter books by like 5 or 6. Yeah, me too. I was like way ahead of, ahead of my grade level when it came to reading. The only thing that saved me from homeschooling is my mom was a pioneer and didn't have the time to teach my brother and I. Yeah, see, that's what I'm saying. Like, the people that I imagine who actually do this probably are pioneers too. It's probably like a stay-at-home mom who's married to a brother who just so happens to, like, maybe he owns a construction business, so he's not like one of the people that's working for him, so he actually makes a decent amount of money and can afford to put the kid in the private thing. And then, the mother is probably a pioneer. So she's, just because she's not working herself doesn't necessarily mean she has the time to be learning how to teach her children things correctly. But this is probably the kind of people that end up signing up for that. And it's a good thing that your mom at least knew her limits and was like, yeah, I don't think I can do that. I don't think that would be good for you. Some parents think that this is a much better option. Like, that's, you reading that website, it gives you the idea that this is going to be the best option. Like, your kid's going to get a really awesome education. It's going to be tailored to your kid. You're going to have to do it. And, good luck with that. We'll point you in the right direction for some books for that. But, yeah, this is all going to be on you. So good luck. Anyway, I am going to try to contact that school. I'm going to see if there's if I can figure out how to get them to send me some info. Without outing myself as where I am or who I am or whatever. And hell, even if I have to shell out $20, I'll do it. I want to know. I should do it to where, like, I pay over the internet and then, like, I call my bank and I'm like, yeah, that was a fraudulent charge. No, just kidding. I'm not going to commit fraud, but still, I just don't want them to have any money. Maybe I'll write them a... No, I don't want to do anything fraudulent. But I will do it. I'll pay them their damn $20 if they want. If it means that I can expose more crap about them. It's ultimately going to be worse for them than it is for me. And $20 probably ain't going to help them that much. And again, from what it looks like on the various websites that I've seen, like their Facebook page that they have for that one that's in, I think, Tennessee, it doesn't look like the school's been active for a few years. I think the last thing I saw was, well, in one place 2017, like the actual website that I was just looking at, 2017 was the last, or 2016? Let me see. Let me check real quick. Yeah, all the pages say 2016 at the bottom. Copyright 2016 New System Schools, Inc. Oh, look, they have a Facebook page linked here. I want to see it. Don't worry, y'all can't see it, because I don't know if it's going to have... Yeah, no, they link the one that's in... They link the one that's in Tennessee. I don't know why. It's got 5 stars. Ugh. Gross. Yeah, I don't know why they have a Facebook page. That just seems weird. Let me see here. The last post... Oh, shit. Okay, so they have been active since 2020 is the last time they were active. It says, our Fayetteville office is having an internet outage. If parents that are enrolled with this office need help with anything, please call the national office. Gross. Gross, gross, gross. But yeah, they haven't been active for a while, but we'll see if they'll send me some info. All the pictures on their Facebook are pictures of the graduating classes of kids, and they look really small. Like, every year, it looks like about 20 to 30 children. That's a small graduating class. Compared to, like, the 500 or so at my school, which I thought was small. I hate this. I hate this very, very much. Everything about this is very unpleasant, and I just don't like it. It's very sketchy. Okay. Let's see. The Kingdom Hall I used to go to has 5 stars, which is why I want to rate it 1 star and give it a rating. But I need to write a good review. Yeah, you should write that. You should make it sound good, but actually have kind of like, just make it sound good, like in the way that when a Jehovah's Witness talks about how great the organization is to anybody else who's like not in the org, it sounds bad. They're like, actually, that sounds really terrible. Like, I don't want to be part of that. Like, talk about like, oh yes, we spend so much time out in service, you know, several hours a month, and oh yeah, I love donating my money to the organization. It's such a good cause, so I like to just donate, you know, a good chunk of my income, and you know, the brothers really encourage that, and I love that. You know, I love helping to build kingdom halls for free. You know, just make them sound bad without making them sound bad, if you know what I mean. Because, I mean, you don't really have to make anything up to make them sound bad. You just have to tell the truth. And even if you tell the truth with a happy tone, it still sounds bad. Anyway, so yeah. If anybody has any questions about this website, please let me know. I would link it in the chat, but I think the chat has links disabled. So, but yeah, you can go check it out for yourself. It is called, let's see here. Just put this back up. It's called newsystemschool.org. You can go look it up for yourself. And if anybody does get in contact with them, you know, I'm going to try, but if anybody else gets in contact with them, hit me up, because I'm curious, you know. Let me know what you found out. And if they made you pay $20 just to find out info. I mean, because there's no place to pay for the, you know, for the info if you want to contact them. Like, let's see here. If you want to request a starter kit, it doesn't say put in some credit card info, but I don't know. You know, like, just something to think about. Let me see. Yeah. In the hot-ass Florida sun, no less. Yeah, you know, I used to live in Florida between the ages of 12 and 15. I lived at first in Tampa, St. Petersburg, and then Pinellas Park, and then Seminole. So, you know, shout out if you were in any of those areas. The last congregation I went to in Florida was, I believe, in Pinellas Park. And Seminole was where my mom was living when she died. So yeah, maybe we met each other. It's entirely possible. I'm 34 now, so I would have, yeah, like I would have been 12 back then. It was a while back. Yeah, that was my home in Seminole. Oh, cool. Yeah, we should chat. Hit me up on my Facebook page that's linked in the description of this stream. It's down there. It's like, you gotta get to the bottom there, but it's in there. And yeah, send me a message if you want to. You don't have to. But yeah, maybe we can figure out if we were like in the same area. Because I think I did probably go to a congregation in Seminole, but we mostly went to the one in Pinellas Park. But I think we went a few times to one in Seminole. I don't remember the name. I don't even remember the name of the Pinellas Park congregation that I went to. It's probably called Pinellas Park. Oh, cool. So we can chat on Instagram then. Okay, that works. If you want to, again, you don't have to. But yeah. Florida congregations were different than the ones here in Texas. That's another thing I noticed. The only Jehovah's Witness I ever dated lived in Florida, and he was still in Florida while we were dating, and I was over here, and the elders were like forcing me to give them his contact info so that they could talk to him, because they wanted to basically tell him not to date me until I was baptized, which is really funny. And he was like, I'm not going to listen to that. And he refused to stop dating me. Like, he didn't tell him anything, but he like just was like, yeah, we're not going to stop dating. And then he tried to start a study with me. We were studying The Secret of Family Happiness. I hate that. We studied over the phone. It was really, really cursed. More or less strict? They were way less strict in Florida. Way less strict. Like, he was involved in a lot of tabletop gaming. You know, there was swearing. Like, they watched a lot of crap that definitely wouldn't fly over here. Yeah, it was way less strict over there. Like, I mean, even over there, his elders were telling him it was fine that he was dating me. Because it's not like we were in person. It's not like we were going to start, you know, doing anything physical. Although, I will say this, he was very bad. He told me, like, he wanted to exchange, you know, certain types of pictures. And he would send me certain types of pictures of himself. And, if I wanted to be a jerk when he broke up with me, when I told him I didn't want to get married in a year, because he was trying to pressure me to get married in a year, if I had been a jerk, I would have told the elders about what he was doing, and he would have gotten in big, big trouble. Yeah, he was definitely doing stuff he was not. He also told me that, and tell me if this is true, depending on your congregation. I want to know, whoever's watching. Because I'm curious. I'm doing a poll here. Did your congregation tell you that it was bad to, and I'm sorry for talking about this subject, but did they tell you it was bad and not okay and a sin to masturbate? Because he told me that it was a conscience matter. And I'm pretty sure there's an entire section of the Young People Ask book that basically says that if you do that, you're going to turn gay. And that you're not supposed to. Like, I remember that part of the book. I remember how uncomfortable I was studying it too. I was like, I don't want to read about this. I don't like this. Why are you making me read this? That was like pretty much the whole book, though. Let's be honest. Let's see here. I was in a Brazilian congregation, and it was definitely less strict from what I was able to see. That's another thing. I've noticed that congregations of specific cultures and ethnicities and stuff in different languages, they had their own kind of way of doing stuff. Things were definitely different. Like, it was way different than the English congregations. They did things their way. Yes, they did. LOL, it was definitely a local needs talk about how it was a sin. Yeah, see, that's what I was taught. But he tried to gaslight my ass and tell me that it was fine, to do that. And I think that was just because he was trying to assuage his own guilt about that. Mental gymnastics his way into thinking what he was doing was fine. Obviously, I don't care what people do now. Like, I don't think I even cared back then. I just didn't want to. I just didn't want to talk about it. I just didn't like the fact that he was lying to me, trying to tell me, that they taught differently than they actually did, when I knew damn well how they taught. But, Jehovah's Witness men do that a lot. The ones that are like super, super indoctrinated, and also that are super controlling, they'll lie to you about stuff like that, so they can get away with doing stuff that otherwise they wouldn't be able to get away with. I've seen it. Probably trying to cover his ass. Absolutely. Yeah, no, I believe that. That's why, I even remember talking to my grandmother about it. I was like, is that a conscience matter? And she was like, no. Who told you that? And I said, never mind that, but yeah, no, I had figured it wasn't. Thankfully, I woke up before I got to dating him. Well, I only dated the one person, and I never wanted to again, and I'm glad I didn't. While we dated when I was trying to go back as an adult, because I left when I was 17, but we were dating when I went back as an adult. We had known each other when I was living in Florida, when I was like young. But we got back in touch again when I was 26, and I was trying to go back to the cult. Not in a serious way. I was just trying to do it to be a double lifer, just so I could be around my family. And, we started dating, and he wanted to get married within a year. Like, he was already talking about giving me a custom ring and shit, and I was like really put off by that because that freaked me out. And he also started to get weirdly suspicious of me. He actually asked me, "Are you bisexual?" And I was like, "No." why? He was like, are you sure? And I was like, pretty sure, yeah. And you know, back in the day, there was a short period where I did identify as bisexual, but unless he found that out somewhere, I don't know why he would be asking me that. Like, either he found out or he like was just suspicious. And I think that made him feel insecure. I think it made him feel a little insecure. And he had a lot of nerve being weird and controlling with me when, like, he was divorced. Like, when we were starting to date, he still hadn't finalized his divorce. And he did while we were dating. He did finalize it. But, like, he told me a bunch of really bad stuff about his ex. And I was like, why are you telling me this? And he tried to make her sound bad. But to me, it sounded like she was just very, you know, mentally ill, probably from being abused. She didn't sound like she was okay. But he tried to make it sound like she was some kind of monster. And I was just like, well, that doesn't sound very good. Like, I felt bad for her. And he just tried to make it sound like she was this evil person and, you know, everybody should hate her and not trust her. I kind of want to reach out to her. I don't know her name, though. But I wish I could reach out to her and ask her, like, if she's okay. But yeah, so he thought we were going to get married in a year, and he thought that I was bisexual. I mean, close enough. I'm asexual, so that means, like, I'm equally not sexually attracted to anybody. So I'm bi, not attracted to people sexually. I consider myself to be gay, though, because I'm still romantically attracted to men. Well, it's a more complicated term than gay, actually. Demi-andro-romantic, which means I can fall in love with masculine-presenting people, including men and non-binary trans-masc people, but only after getting to know them first. But that's why I just say gay. Gay is shorter, and most people kind of understand what that means. You know, and then I love that rainbow flag back there. Rainbow flag is always good. It's cute. Yeah, sexuality is very complicated, and yes, JW men are very insecure. But yeah, I'm glad you didn't have to date anybody in the cult, because it's complicated. I was actually taken aback that the elders, when they found out that I was dating somebody, because my grandmother told them, because she was pissed. She didn't want me dating anybody. She's very controlling. She was like, she told the elders on me, and she even told the elders that I was crazy or something. And I was like, okay. And the elders were like, yeah, we don't think you should be dating, but, you know, we need to talk to the guy that you're dating. So they, like, took me aside into the back room after a meeting one day, and they were like, your grandmother told us you're dating somebody. We don't really think that's a good idea, but here, give us his contact information. I was so taken aback that I didn't even have a second to think, is this weird? And say no to them. I just did it. I was like, okay. So I just, like, wrote it down on a piece of paper, like, here's his number and here's his name. Good luck. And then they made him give them his elders' numbers and stuff so that they could talk to his elders. But he didn't take it very seriously, like I said. He wasn't, you know, he didn't listen to them. I should have known, though, that was weird. I remember talking to my study conductor about it, both of them. Like, I was talking to them one day, like, hey, so is it normal for the elders to, you know, be that involved in who you're dating and stuff? And they were like, oh, yes, they're trying to protect you, you know? And then they told me that, like, they started telling me how everything worked. They were like, yeah, you're gonna get married, and they're gonna have to, like, you can't get married in the Kingdom Hall unless you're baptized and in good standing. And I was like, when they were telling me that, I actually stopped them. I was like, oh, I don't actually want to get married in the Kingdom Hall. I was thinking, like, you know, if I get married, I'll probably get married in a park or in the beach, somewhere, you know, outside, because it's pretty. And they were like, they were like, why? Why wouldn't you want to get married in the Kingdom Hall? It's such an honor. And I was like, you know, I thought it would be a cool thing if I can get married somewhere pretty. And they were like, no, you want to get married in the Kingdom Hall. I don't think an elder will preside over your wedding if you do it outside somewhere. And I was like, well, I mean, I didn't think I had to have an elder do that. Couldn't I just get my own? Like, I was thinking maybe getting a friend to do it. And they were like, oh my god, no, you can't do that. They also told me that I wasn't allowed to pick whatever music I wanted at my wedding. And I was like, I was like, no, I'm not gonna play. I'm not gonna play the Kingdom Melodies crap at my wedding. I didn't call it crap to them, but I was like, I don't want to play the Kingdom Melodies at my wedding. It's too much. And they got visibly upset by that and angry at me and started arguing with me about why everything I was saying was wrong, and told me, you're not ready to be married if you don't want to be married the right way. And yeah, they told on me to the elders for not wanting to get married in the Kingdom Hall. I was just I was oblivious to how controlling they were. Like, you really can't pick your damn music? You really, you really have to do it in the Kingdom Hall? Like, everybody, apparently, it's a stigma if you don't get married in the Kingdom Hall. Like, people think less of you. They assume that you must not be in good standing if you chose not to get married in the hall. And I'm like, yeah, that's weird. I don't like that. I don't like any of that. They also told me the elders had to be okay with who you're getting married to, and that you have to meet with the elders before you actually get married. Weird. Don't like it. Yeah, and I don't think any church, is that bad, other than other really culty types of churches. I don't think it's normal for people to be that, for your religion, for your church, strangers even, to be that involved in your relationship. So if that starts happening, be concerned. Maybe sit back and think about, is this right for me? Because that's weird, and that sets the tone for how they're going to be when I actually am married. Yeah, I don't think so. A lot of us didn't realize how weird it was with the elders. I remember a girl got married in a park and everyone talked shit about her because she wasn't allowed to get married in the hall. Yeah, see, they even if you really are allowed to get married in the hall, but you just choose to get married somewhere else, apparently that puts a big stigma on you. They're like, oh, I wonder what that person did wrong. I wonder why they weren't allowed to get married in the hall. First of all, the hall is ugly as shit, okay? Let's be real. It's nasty. It smells like every other Kingdom Hall that you can ever go into. I mean, the Kingdom Hall smells like the bathroom in the Kingdom Hall, okay? And it's ugly. It's bland. The music sucks. I don't want that to be my wedding. That's gross. I'm sorry. Just no. It's hard to make them look pretty. Yeah, you can't make them look pretty. That's like trying to put lipstick on a hairy ass and make it look like it's a beautiful face or something. No, I'm sorry. And nothing wrong with hairy asses or anything, but come on. You just can't make the Kingdom Hall look pretty. It is sterile. I mean, if I'm going to get married in the Kingdom Hall, I might as well get married in a hospital, which honestly, I'd rather get married in the hospital. At least that, is probably special for some reason. Because I feel like getting married in the hospital is a lot less, depressing than getting married in the freaking Kingdom Hall. No thanks. But anyway, yeah, might as well get married in court. See, that's another thing. Getting married in the courthouse. People talk shit about you if you get married in the courthouse. It's like, why? Yep, the elders in Chicago pushed big time for a Kingdom Hall wedding back in 1999 for my fiancé and I. We ultimately married at the Justice of the Peace, downtown Chicago. Can I ask a question for anybody who knows this? Do they charge you to get married at the Kingdom Hall? Are you expected to pay a big, deposit or a quote-unquote donation? Do they pressure you to drop some ducats at the Kingdom Hall? Or can you just do it for free? Because I feel like it's a lot less of a privilege if you also have to pay for it. That's ridiculous. And I know it's normal for churches to ask you for some kind of a deposit, in case there's damages and stuff. But they're I don't know. I just don't consider JWs to be a church. Okay, so you can get married for free there. Yeah, well, guess what? I wouldn't want to get married there even if it was 100% free anyway. It's so gross. I'd rather get married by a trash can behind McDonald's. Okay? and we were nearly disfellowshipped hours after we were married. 3-hour judicial that afternoon as we were on private reproof under full restrictions. Oh no, they're punishing me from going out in service and answering in the meetings. Whatever will I do? Put my ass on vacation as a punishment? Thanks. I'll consider that a wedding gift. Oh boy. Anyway, I don't know if you just showed up, Dave, or if you've been there the whole time, but yeah, you should watch the beginning of the stream. You're going to freak out about all the school stuff. It's weird, and there's bad stuff in there. I might actually download this video and chop it up to where it's only the parts that I'm talking about at the school and make it as short as possible so I can re-upload it. Because we were just kind of having a discussion along the way, but boy, is it something else. It's something else with these people. I hope everybody is having a fantastic evening and that this has been eye-opening for you. And if not, I bet it's because you already knew how shit was with these people. But, yeah. Just it's too much with these people. I'm gonna go ahead and probably upload. Like I said, I'm gonna chop this up and upload that. I don't know if it's gonna be tomorrow or not because it's kind of long. But I have another thing that I want to discuss tomorrow that I will hopefully just upload a video on. If not, I'll just do a live stream. Hopefully, it'll be really short. But it's a really short topic, and it's about money, money and activism and all that stuff. So we're going to talk about that tomorrow. Very, very important topic because I've been getting tons of questions about it. I've had people reach out to me, for various reasons, and we just have to have a little discussion. But alrighty. In the meantime, I recommend everybody go and enjoy themselves because you're free, because you can. Go watch a movie. Don't think about Jehovah's Witnesses. Read a book. Eat your favorite snack. Relish the fact that you don't have to wake up for the service meeting tomorrow. Go pet your cat. Hug your kids. Just be grateful to be alive and free. And let's see here. Before I go, I'll read the last comment here. Just came in. I've known quite a few JWs who were homeschooled. Fits their paranoid, insular, seclusive culture. Yeah, but see, the thing is, Dave, that they on this website they try to act like it's not homeschool. They literally say that it's not homeschool, and then they use every term they can to call it pretty much homeschool, but not homeschool. You'll see. Just more of their double speak. Anyway, yes, everybody, please take care of yourselves and each other. Watch out for cultists. And yeah, I hope you're all doing well. And hopefully I'll have some more information on this particular JW school if they actually get back to me. We'll see. The elders were paranoid as were parents that JW kids would end up pregnant or impregnating as teenagers. Yes, that's why they told my grandmother to sign for my mother to get married. Oh, thank you, Cam. I appreciate that. Alright. I'm gonna go ahead and pop off here, folks. It's been a long stream. Lots of information. Please feel free to rewind and whatever. Leave me lots and lots of comments, questions, whatever. Yell at me, tell me I'm dumb if you think I'm dumb. I won't get mad. I might just laugh, actually. Let me know your own experiences if you were homeschooled or if you knew somebody who was. I'm all about experiences, hearing people's stories, hearing people's opinions. Just let me know what you think in general, because I'm very curious. Please take care of yourselves and each other, and have a fantastic night.